Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. It's time to get down to business. On Tuesday, the College Football Playoff Committee will release their first set of rankings. A set of rankings that will be huge in showing where the top teams in the country stand when it comes to making the College Football Playoff, when it comes to making the Final Four. And like we've been doing all season, guys, today we are here with our official GE Top 25, our GE rankings, based solely on our criteria, based on what actually happens out on the field. Unbiased, solely based on the results, taking everything into consideration based on our criteria, just like the committee has their own criteria. But this is how we believe the polls should look on Tuesday. Will it line up with the committees? Absolutely not. Are we going to disagree with them? Of course we will. Are we going to be ready to debate with you? Not just today, but on Tuesday with our live stream right after the playoff show. Absolutely will. So today, guys, we're here to break down our top 25, justifying every single one of these rankings. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into it today. But before we do, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country over on our website, thegridironexpert.com, beating out over 80% of the national analysts. 9-1 2 weeks ago, 6-4 this week, have yet to have a losing weekend, hitting over 63% against the spread, over 82% on the money line. You do not want to miss out on these picks, guys, especially since they're one of the lowest prices in the country. Go check it out and all of the exclusive college football content we have for you right down there in the description. So let's jump into it, guys. This is our set of rankings heading into week 10. So as you can see, our top four teams, what we believe the top four should look like on Tuesday: Georgia at number 1, Tennessee at number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Michigan at number 4. If you've been following our rankings that we've been putting out each of the last 8-9 weeks, the top 8 teams have not changed in our poll. No teams changed in the top 8 from last week to this week. There was really no reason to. Georgia taking care of Florida. Tennessee, a dominant win over Kentucky, but not enough for us to jump the Volunteers over Georgia for that number 1 spot. Ohio State struggled for the majority of the game against Penn State, pulled away from a phenomenal defensive performance, beating the Nittany Lions 44-31 on the road. Really the first true test for the Buckeyes. We keep them at number 3. Not enough to jump, in our opinion, Tennessee, who has just looked phenomenal all year. Michigan at number 4, beating Michigan State by 22. Clemson had a bye week. They're at 5. Oregon beat California by 18. They're at 6. Only loss this year for the Ducks to Georgia. Yes, it was in blowout fashion, but the Ducks are a completely different team. If they were to face off again in Atlanta tomorrow, I believe the result would be different. Ducks still might lose, but they're not losing by 46. Alabama in at number 7, fresh off their bye week, and then TCU taking down West Virginia on the road 41-31, getting that late touchdown at the end to win by 10. Otherwise, it would have been a 3-point victory, but regardless, TCU would have remained at 8th as long as they came away with the victory. The top 8 teams have not changed. So Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, Michigan, that's what we believe the top 4 should look like. Obviously, that's going to change by season's end. Georgia and Tennessee play each other this Saturday in Athens. Ohio State and Michigan have to play each other in the season finale. A lot of changes are going to happen over these next few weeks, really over this next month of college football. But that's what we believe it should look like. We have Clemson as the first team out. Yes, we know they haven't looked great, but they're still 8-0 and still a defense not too shabby for the Tigers. And Oregon in at number 6. First 2 teams out, we have the Tigers and the Ducks. There you go. That's how we believe it should look. Now we get into the rest. How about Kansas State jumping 9 spots in our rankings? Kansas State was ranked 22nd in the AP poll. We had them ranked 18th heading into Saturday, and they beat Oklahoma State 48-0. 48-0 over the Cowboys, who we had ranked 9th. Just like the AP poll did. So the 9th ranked team in the country, they shut out 48-0. First time Oklahoma State's been shut out since 2009. Yeah, that deserves a major skyrocket in the rankings over all these other teams that we have listed here. The Wildcats are the real deal. Only losses to Tulane, which that loss continues to look better and better as the Green Wave continue to win. And then the other loss, obviously not too shabby either, to TCU. Obviously lost their quarterbacks in that game. Rough defensive performance with a lot of injuries in that game. Kansas State's the real deal, guys. Could get another shot at TCU. Not enough to jump the Horned Frogs because we're honoring the head-to-head, but Kansas State, yes, in the top 10, following an unbelievable performance over a top 10 team. UCLA into the top 10 as well. My man South Tex, I'm sure you'll be very happy to see the Bruins there. They rise 3 after their dominating win over Stanford, jumping a team like Utah, who they did beat earlier in the year, ahead of a team like Illinois, ahead of a team like USC, guys like that. The Bruins guys, we did not drop too far in our rankings after their loss to Oregon last week. Bounced back with a dominant win over the Cardinal. UCLA still a very, very good team. Still very much alive, we should keep in mind, for the playoff and a Pac-12 title. Only one loss on the year for the Bruins. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. We do have them in here in the top 10. Only loss coming to Oregon. They're ahead of Utah, who the Bruins beat earlier. Give credit to Utah, though, guys, that surprisingly did not have Cam Rising on Thursday night. Had to go on the road to play Washington State in Pullman. Cam Rising, we all thought was going to be fine. They were coming off a bye week. He didn't play, didn't start. It was unexpected. They ended up winning the game over the Cougars 21-17 on the road, and we know that's not an easy place to play, especially midweek. Won that game by 4 with a backup quarterback. The Utes remain at 11th in our rankings. Still a very, very good team. Still very much alive for a Pac-12 title as well. The Pac-12 race this next month with Oregon, UCLA, Utah, and USC are going to be very, very fun to watch. Illinois coming in at number 12, rising 2 with their win over Nebraska. The Fighting Illini now the sole lead and sole possession of the Big Ten West. Seem on a crash course to face either Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Very good win on the road at Nebraska. The committee probably will not rank Illinois this high, but for a team that has the number 1 defense in the country, they absolutely deserve a ranking that high. 12th for Brett Bielema's squad. Above a team like USC, talk about a bowl game I'd love to see. Illinois' defense against USC's offense. That would be great clash of style there. Would love to watch that game, but the Trojans up 3, still not completely sold on Lincoln Riley's squad. They rise 3 spots because of the events that happened ahead of them, teams ahead of them losing, such as Oklahoma State and Wake Forest. They benefited from that. They only beat Arizona by 8, 45-37. Defense is not there for USC. They are struggling defensively. Offense, hard to stop. But if you have an offense that can match them step for step, like Utah did, like Oregon could, like UCLA could, USC very well could struggle. So 13th in the country. We have yet to put USC in the top 10 this year. We do not think they're a top 10 team by any means. They're going to have to earn that by getting more marquee victories down the road. They really haven't beat anybody this year. They could do that down the road by maybe beating a UCLA, maybe even winning the Pac-12 with a win over Utah again or Oregon, whoever it may be. But USC in at 13, ahead of LSU. The Tigers were on a bye week in preparation for their game against Alabama, but they are this high, and they were 17th in our rankings last week because of their dominant victory over Ole Miss, who we have at 15th. Rising 4 spots, again, benefiting from teams that lost ahead of them, rising 4 spots with their road win at Texas A&M, 31-28. Now, while the Aggies might not be great, going on the road to win a night game in College Station is not an easy thing to do. So give credit to Lane Kiffin and the Rebels, a team that, to us, is still a tad bit overrated, was never top 10 material. Just like USC, we never had Ole Miss in the top 10. They never sniffed the top 10 this year. Close, 11, 12, 13, never were in it. They can continue to rise up. They have a bye week before they go and play Alabama on the 12th. So Ole Miss will still stay around here heading into that Bama game, but the Rebels, a top 15 team, ahead of Penn State, who only drops 4. Some say, why so low for Penn State? Why only 4 spots? Why not more? Well, because Penn State was beating Ohio State 21-16 with under 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Penn State's still a good team. And their only 2 losses are to Michigan and Ohio State, the top 2 teams in the Big Ten East. So Nittany Lion fans are getting tired of this. They're getting tired of not being able to win the big games, not being able to win the Big Ten and win the Big Ten East, but to play Ohio State as close as they did. Yes, they lost by 13, but to be doing so well there and to really just collapse from a dominant Ohio State defensive performance in those final 6 minutes or so, going on a 28-3 run, Penn State, to me, does not deserve to fall 7, 8, 9 spots. Only 4 for the Nittany Lions for a team that has 2 quality losses, and that Ohio State game a lot closer than the final score indicated. So Penn State in at 16, North Carolina up 4 spots to 17 following their big win over Pittsburgh. The Tar Heels trailed 24-14. And then scored the final 28 points to win 42-24. North Carolina practically a lock at this point. Not entirely, but looks like it, to win the ACC Coastal. Watch out. Relatively favorable schedule down the stretch. That offense, so tough to stop, could give Clemson a run for their money in the ACC Championship, assuming they can both get there. Syracuse in at 18. Some say, why is Syracuse still a top 20 team? They got blown out by Notre Dame, 41-24. What's the deal? Why are they still in the top 20? Well, we take a lot of things into consideration here. Syracuse, 2 losses in a row, one of them by 6 to Clemson, some would say in controversial fashion. Still a very, very impressive performance by the Orange, game they probably should have won. They lose to Notre Dame, yes, but Garrett Schrader goes down in the second quarter with an injury, does not return. Does Garrett Schrader play the entire game? Does Syracuse win? I don't know, but I think it's a lot closer than 17, 14 points. So I'm taking that into consideration here. I still think Syracuse is a dang good team when Schrader's healthy, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I still like Syracuse above every team we had them above here. So the Orange remaining in the top 20 in at number 18. Tulane, just benefiting from the madness. Remember, 7 top 25 teams went down in week 9. So Tulane moving from 22nd to 19th in our rankings, 19th in the country. The best shot out of the group of 5 teams. Tulane could be the New Year's 6 Bowl representative from the group of 5. As you can see, the group of 5 relatively weak this year. Only 2 teams out of the group of 5 ranked. Well, 3 if you count Liberty, but Tulane the highest ranked right now. They're looking really dang good. Really dang good. So the Green Wave in at number 19. Oklahoma State, we talked about them, lost 48-0 to Kansas State. Still have a decent resume, though. Road win at Baylor, the win over Texas. So they still are a top 25 team, but barely holding on to a top 20 spot, dropping 11 spots in our rankings. Same for Wake Forest, dropping 11 spots in our rankings as well, following their loss to Louisville, 48-21. Had 8 turnovers in that game. Sam Hartman had no time in that game. Louisville, 35 fourth quarter points, trailed 14-13 at halftime. 35 third quarter points, blew the game wide open. Cardinals now 5-3. Wake Forest drops 11 to 21st, ahead of Liberty. Some say, where's Liberty coming from? Liberty, guys, has quietly put together a 7-1 record. Their only loss by 1 point to Wake Forest. How about that? 1 point to Wake Forest. Liberty, Hugh Freeze, and the Flames, a very, very, very good team, worthy of a top 25 spot. Have a tough test coming up this weekend, though, against Arkansas in Fayetteville. So that will really continue to show whether Liberty could contend for that New Year's 6 Bowl. Could they contend and remain a top 25 team, or whether their dream season falls short in Fayetteville? NC State staying in the top 25, looked horrible against Virginia Tech, but battled back to win the game 22-21. Give credit to Dave Doeren for winning this game without Devin Leary. Obviously, NC State struggled a little bit offensively, but their defense buckled down where they needed to down the stretch. The offense made the plays down the stretch. They were down, 21-3, something like that. Battled all the way back to win 22-21. That takes a lot of grit. Takes a lot of toughness, especially with an inexperienced quarterback. NC State does not deserve to fall out. They move up 1 spot to 23rd. Texas up a spot thanks to things that happened in front of them from 25th to 24th. Staying in the rankings, guys. Texas just dealt a couple of bad breaks here, but still, to me, a very solid team at 5-3. And then UCF joining the top 25 for the first time this year. The Knights, guys, beating number 20 Cincinnati, 25-21. The Knights are 6-2 under Gus Malzahn. Only losses to East Carolina, who has 6 wins. The other loss to Louisville, who just annihilated a top 10 team in Wake Forest. So not too bad of a resume for UCF, who is in a very good position now to make the American Athletic Championship game, potentially against Tulane. So watch out for that battle there. Tulane, UCF, the winner of that conference, if they both keep winning, could make a New Year's 6 bowl game. That race is going to be very interesting as we go through the rest of the month of November. So there you go, guys. There is our official GE Top 25 and how we believe the college football playoff rankings should look on Tuesday. Will they line up? Not at all. Will it be close? Probably not at all. Are we going to disagree? Yeah, we always disagree with the playoff committee, a committee that we think is very flawed and not the right way to rank these teams. But we know we're not perfect either. We're ready to hear from you. Leave your rankings down in the comments below. Let's debate. Let's discuss. Tell us who's ranked too high, who's ranked too low, who should be ranked that isn't, who is ranked that should not be. We're ready to hear from you, and we're ready to discuss as we head into the month of November, the biggest, the most exciting, and arguably the most important month of college football. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Do not want to miss out on that, guys. Have yet to have a losing week this year. 59-34 on the year, 63% against the spread, 82% on the money line, beating out 80% of the national analysts. We want you to take advantage of those numbers as well. Take a look at it. Become a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.